Hi everyone, Peter Wilson here again. I'm back in the inside now. There's the neighbours have got the grandkids and they're too noisy to do a video, so I have to get away from the sunshine, unfortunately. Just a quick one, right? A couple of people have sent messages in saying, like, you know, other people are questioning them about the validity of the UCC. And saying it doesn't exist, or it only exists in the US and stuff like that. So what I want to talk about is, first of all, one guy, he was asking, like, someone who happened to be a police officer. I think he said it was like quite a high ranking police officer. Now, I don't care if these people have seen you seeing their family friends or they've been a lifelong friend or anything like that. All right, they are trained to lie to you. They are trained to hide the truth, and they are trained to run on corporate policy, okay? These are not police constables. They do not exist, all right? They are policy enforcers. They are enforcing company policy, corporation policy. This is all this act that we're going under. I don't want to say any words on the videos because you get flagged, you get grief. Right, but we're all under the axe there, so that you can't do this, that, and the next thing. This is a policy. It is not a law. The only law that you can go on is common law, natural law, and contract law. Okay, so these people are just basically trained to BS all day long. Now, contract, your entire life is a contract. Everything you do and say is a contract. From our birth, right, coming out of the birthing canal, all to do with maritime admiralty law, then you are in a contract, and your parents, unfortunately, they signed a contract, although you can get out of it because it's non-disclosure, okay? Vitiate every contract. That's contract. That's fraud. Okay, non-disclosure, not full disclosure, right? That is fraud. Okay, fraud vitiates everything, cancels everything. Okay, so you can get out of it, right? So don't panic. But from these birth certificates that we all got done on us when we were children, we didn't know anything about it, okay, then we've been put into this admiralty system. We're all under it, under there. We're all run on contracts. I mean, I'm not bothered if people believe me or not. I could not care less. But, you know, you can get out of these things, and you can get help, but you have to look for it. This is the whole thing. The UK has been bankrupt for a long time, the UK government. Now, what they do is they dissolve themselves. Okay, they dissolve the corporation in Companies House, and then they start again. And what they're dissolving the company for is they want to renew the debt collateral. What's the collateral? Us. We are the chattels of the government through the birth certificate. They own us. They are actually using our bodies and our sweat equity, future sweat equity, as collateral against the loans of the central banks. The central banks own everything. I've went over some videos before, and you've seen the layers that it goes up and up and up and up. All right, government are down here, you know, and then you've got like the central banks that own all them, but you've got people that own all that as well. It goes up and up and up. It's truly horrific and all corrupt as hell. Okay, so but what I want to talk about, the UCC, right, is just a contract law. All right, I've seen all the books that I have. I've got the books on like the UCC itself, and you know, we've got it on that Halesbury's Laws of England, because it isn't just about like US law, but it's so tied together and close. It's all linked. Don't think that it's not linked. All on the US Constitution and everything that they're talking about on like common law and being free and everything comes from the Magna Carta, the Great Charter of 1215, right? Which was the barons of England had put King John under. Now, the thing is, this was actually put together by the Knights Templar. Nobody can tell you that when you're investigating just on the surface. You have to go below that. All right, so it's not the best thing, but it was sent through from the Knights Templar. And who was in charge of the Knights Templar? The Pope, the Vatican. So put this book down. All right, but anyway, so like the US Constitution was set up on the Magna Carta, which was the 1215 in England. You know, so this is all the law. There isn't like, oh, like, I know that you have like certain like state laws, which you know, and like it's very similar, parking restrictions and timing for like, I don't know, like licenses for certain things like bars and stuff like that. I know you have that, but I'm talking about the big law, right, that we're all under, right? Now, the same laws apply, okay? It's not like, you know, you're down in one country and the law doesn't apply. Try murdering someone in a different country, see what happens, all right? I mean, I don't want you to, but I'm just saying, like, as an example, all right? But anyway, I digress. I want to talk about the UCC and also the government. Like the UK government I'm on about here, they are bankrupt, the same as the US corporation is bankrupt, and they keep dissolving. Okay, the reason why they're dissolving is they're selling our souls again, our beings, our sweat entity, sweat equity, to the Vatican again. They're selling it as collateral to the Vatican again, so they can get new loans. So they dissolve the corporation, and then they start again. They do it every few years. I know a lot of people are getting excited, saying, "Oh, we're beating them with the companies, the corporations bankrupt, been bankrupt for years and years and years, decades." 1913 in the UK, 1933 in the US. All right, but they dissolve every now and again for that purpose of selling us back to the Vatican, our collateral. We are the collateral. Now, this is the interesting thing. Pay attention on this one. There is a group, it's a trust. Elizabeth is the woman who runs the trust. Can't think of the trust name right now. But anyway, and I've read it and I've seen the emails, I've seen the reports. She filed a UCC1 financial statement on the UK government. You can file a statement on a company, right, so, or a corporation. So say if you're having trouble with a debt company, you can put them on a UCC1 and put a lien on that company, and it's 100% by law, legal and everything, and then you can actually you know, prosecute them and actually like put a lien on them, which is financial, and take that money from them, right? But this was done on the UK government. Now the UK government were trying to dissolve earlier this year anyway. I can't remember what day it was, but it was like early this year. Now, they seen this like a dissolve going through Company House, so they had put the UCC1 on the UK government, then informed Companies House, who handle the setup of companies and the dissolving of companies. Okay? So they had to stop it. So they stopped it for 2 weeks and said, right, now you've got 2 weeks to put the evidence in, and we'll have a look at it, and if it suits them, you know, we'll stop the dissolving. If not, then it will dissolve. So she put the evidence in that they were the creditors of the UK government. The UK government is down as a debtor. When you do the UCC1, when you're doing it on yourself, which I'm showing you how to do it, you put yourself down in full capitals as the debtor, okay? Below that, you put yourself in as high and lowercase, normal, a living sentient being, as the creditor. So you are the creditor. What is a debtor? A debtor is something that owes money, owes something to somebody. What is a creditor? A creditor is the one that is owed. Okay? So when you're doing it on yourself, the one I've showed you, your full capitals, your debtor, then the high and lowercase as the creditor, then the debtor, that is the fiction, that is not real, that is what the government have done to you, the fraud. They've set you up as a corporation. So what you've done as a creditor, you become a secured party creditor. You own everything that they have, you as the corporation. So you're actually owed money by them, you're in control of them. That is what we're doing. We're becoming a secured party creditor on our straw man, if you want to call it that name, legal fiction. But everyone knows what you mean by straw man. And this is why everybody tells you it's a load of rubbish and it doesn't exist, and they hire, like, and train police to tell you this. They try, oh no, it's rubbish, it's stupid, you know, you can't talk about that. And say, oh look, no, don't play semantics when you say common law. Look, they have no consent They have no contract. There is no joinder. All you have to do with them is keep your mouth shut, and there's nothing they can do. Okay? So if they're going to ask your name and your date of birth, and then your address. Name and date of birth is a contract. As soon as they have that contract, then you're tied to them. You have to do that, and you've given them consent in a contract. So you're going to arrest you and they're going to take you away, all right? And they want money. This is, it's not. You haven't committed a crime. There's no offence, as in, you haven't hurt anyone. You haven't stolen any property, and that's what the law is about. You can't harm people. You can't injure them or kill them, and you can't steal from them, all right? That is. I mean, there's obviously the little bits that go tied into that, but that is the thing. You're not allowed to hurt people, all right? And people aren't allowed to hurt you. You're not allowed to steal from them, and they're not allowed to steal from you. So that is a crime, okay? And if there's a crime, all right, there's a corpus delicti. Corpus delicti, that means, right, there is a body of crime. Something has happened. If there is no corpus delicti, they cannot arrest you. And if they do, then you should be doing it for false arrest. You want all the names and the numbers. And now they're not giving you the names now. Did you notice that? So who said that they shouldn't give you the names? By police code and also PACE, P-A-C-E, the police disciplinary code and PACE. They must give you their name and number. Okay, that is the law, their laws as well, not ours, right? So if they're not doing it, they've been given permission to not give you that by their inspector. So we want to know the name of their inspector. Get the name of the inspector. Get the inspector on the radio now. I want to find out who it is that gave you permission not to make yourself known. Not make yourself known. That's what they call it. All right. So you should be given, they should have the hats on. They're not allowed to deal with the general public if they're not wearing a hat. They're not allowed to, and it sounds silly, but it's a proper military uniform. All right. They're not allowed to deal with the general public where they've got their hands in their pockets, or they've got these stupid belts on now and they've got all the weapons and they're putting their thumbs in there, right? It's disciplinary offences that they're committing, right? So you should be telling them. Okay, it's against the police code to be standing like that. It's against the police code to not have your hat on if you're dealing with the general public. If you're dealing with the general public, you should have your hat on. You should be doing it in a respectful manner. This is where you've got to start acting with them. All right, and then or just do it as a question. Ask them. Be as king, asking. All right, so why is it that you haven't got your hat on? Is it not correct that you should be wearing your hat when dealing with the general public according to PACE and the police conduct? All right, is it not correct that you shouldn't have your thumbs tucked in there because you're actually bringing the police into disrepute by not following the disciplinary codes of the police? Okay, so who is it that's giving you permission that you're not supposed to give your name and make yourself known? Okay, all right. So, again, I'm wondering off, right? This, just passion, that's all it is. But listen, these people that put the UCC1, right, against the government, they stopped them dissolving. They stopped them dissolving, right? So if someone's telling you that there will be a policeman or will be the government agency, oh, I see another one, they had a website, and our website trying to sell some services. Okay. All right, listen. Right, this UCC1 that was filed against the UK government stopped the UK government from dissolving, and they've been stopped now, and they're going to review it again on the 21st of June 2021. All right, 2 months time-ish, isn't it? April, May, June, yeah. All right, so this was back in, I'm sure it was in January, and they've put it off basically 6 months. Then they've stopped them dissolving. How powerful is that? So you can, the UK government are not too happy about it, So they're making everybody stay indoors for longer, shutting everything down longer because they're all pissed off because, we, not us, right? But that trust put in the UCC1. Now, if it didn't exist, how did it happen then? Okay, so asking your police friends, all right, they're not your friends. They've been trained to lie, right? They actually dropped the IQ level for entry into the police force, police service. half the training, all right, and all they do is sit in seminars and like watching TVs, and then they send you out there, right, to walk out with that bad attitude and harass people. They're not going to tell you anything about the UCC because they probably don't know anything about it at all themselves anyway, and they know nothing about law. They definitely don't know about contract law. All they get shown and told is how to make consent and joinder. And once you got joinder, that's it. They don't know anything else. It's like a robot. Arrest, put them in a car, take them away, give them to the sergeant. And then the sergeant has to deal with the mess. And then if you have enough information and you've got the correct information and taught yourself or listened properly to the correct information, and then you start putting claims against them for false arrest. All right, corpus delicti, habeas corpus. Know what these terms are. They're not. If there's no crime, they can't arrest you. And obviously the clowns do. The clowns in costumes do, but then they can't keep you under habeas corpus. They have to let you go. There's no crime. There is no victim. No victim of you haven't hurt somebody. You haven't stolen. So we say, well, where's the victim? Corpus delicti. Bring in the crime. They can't. Okay? So anyway, but so I'm just saying, how powerful is the UCC1 form done against the UK government and stop them dissolving? Go and Google it now. Go on Companies House and have a look at the UK government. I've actually got the find out from there the what do you call it? The company number. Every company has a number. I've got it written downstairs when I was watching the actual video of how they actually did it. All right. So, but every single like government agency you think is a government agency are all private limited companies. Talking about the police, Northumbria Police is a private limited company. That's where I live. So they have a turnover that they state on Duns and Bradstreet, which is where you find the company numbers, of 1.6 million in sales. It's written. That's how it's written, right? And they're subcontracted to the Crimes and Police Commissioner, CPC, all right, which is another private limited company, corporation. I think their turnover they put down was like 2.9 million a year in sales. All right, not my words, how it's written, their turnover in sales. So all of it going up to, again, the government that they call themselves Her Majesty's Government, the UK Government Limited Corporation. It's a private company. They have got no authority over you. There is no law that they can do unless you're consenting under a contract. They are a company, and are you employed by them? They think you are by the birth certificate. All you have to do, remove yourself, become a secured party creditor using the UCC1 form, okay? And then you can actually do like a live birth certificate for yourself, right? Where you're not going to be registered, Regis, Crown, under the Crown Corporation, and become a living being, man or woman, okay? Free and alive and loving life. All right? So that, you know, it's up to you what you believe or not believe. It really doesn't really matter to anyone else except you, does it? Right? It doesn't bother me either, you know, and you get good comments and funny comments and daft comments and horrible comments. You know, it's not really going to affect my life, you know. So everybody can be free and make their own decisions. Free will. A lot of people are being pricks, aren't they? You know, free will, you have to let them do it. There's nothing that you can see. There's like, they were crying on a video there. Their daughter had went and got it, even though they had told them the ingredients. You know, nothing that you would want to put inside your body. You wouldn't want to drink it. You know what I mean? Go on, I've got a cup of coffee. Let's put some formaldehyde in. Little drop of mercury in there. Well, that'd be nice. Stir that up with my coffee. That's really lovely and tasty. But it's all free will. So we was talking. I do like weekly seminars. No webinars. Can't do seminars at the minute, can you? But anyway, I'm not doing it this weekend coming because it's my birthday, so I'm gonna have a little celebration. But anyway, all right. They were talking about the whole reason why that we're in this mess, all right? And they were talking about Colonel Mandelhouse. Look at that name, Colonel Mandelhouse. And he was talking about the way that the governments have given themselves plausible deniability. So in other words, if anyone questions them about this, they'll just say, I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking a load of rubbish. Does that ring a bell? right? When people, you say things like this to people, oh, you're talking rubbish. Oh, that you're stupid. Or you're a conspiracy theorist, right? It's deniable plausibility. And I was talking to Woodrow Wilson in 1933, I think. Mandel House, Colonel something Mandel House. That was when they were sending this over to the United States because it had already happened in England. They were bankrupt 1913, got rid of the gold, no gold standard. So all you have is a promissory note, means nothing, it's worthless. The paper itself is all it'd be worth, probably what, about value of a penny, you know? But that's what I'm saying. So the saying that we were talking about from that Mandel House, but they had, the world wants to be deceived, so let it be deceived. The world wants to be deceived, so let it be deceived. So in other words, right, if you're not going to get yourself out there and find out the information, educate yourself and find out about it, you're always going to be a slave. You're a slave to them. I mean, you hear about it all the time. You're a slave to the system, and they say this type of thing, you know, and you're slaving away, and they mean it. You know, it isn't just like an off-the-cuff comment. They actually mean it. This is what you've got to look at, the films that they make, right? Now, years ago, I was watching, the first time I ever saw a zombie film, I was actually in the Royal Navy at the time. It was either 1979, 1980, something like that, and I can't remember what the name of the film was. They're all called something like Day of Dead or Dead something. And it was zombies, and these zombies were coming out and eating people. I don't know why I always have to try and eat people in these films, you know, can they not just walk around and be in your way or something? But anyway, I suppose it wouldn't be scary then, would it, really, if they weren't going to eat you? But they are making these films about zombies because that's the way that they see us. We are the walking dead, all right? We are just walking dead, not knowing anything about what is going on. Okay, the film The Wizard of Oz, they played it when I was a kid. It was on every single Christmas day for forever and ever. You're talking about like a curtain, and everything's going on behind the curtain. They're running the whole show from behind a curtain. You can't see who's in charge. That's The Wizard of Oz. That's the whole scenario. The straw man. Come on, the straw man. He's dead. He didn't have a heart. You know. I mean, they're telling you. Okay, you ever seen that film with Will Smith called Legend? Right, I'm not a fan of his whatsoever, but I did watch that film, and they've invented this fantastic medication, all right, and then everybody either turns into a zombie or dies through taking this medication. Ring any bells? Huh? So you want to watch these films, you know, and see what's going on in them, right? But because that's it, you know, they're talking about the Walking Dead, they're talking about zombies. This is what we are. They look at us and they laugh at us because they think we're zombies and we're all stupid, right? But we were conned and we were lied to and tricked. So that's the difference. But once you start finding these things out, when you know better, you should do better. When you know better, you have to do better. And unless you're going to find out and know better and then start acting like a creditor, not a debtor, become a secured party creditor so that you own everything that that corporation has. You're in charge of it then. It's not in charge of you. And unless you do that and break away from it, some people would say calling it owning your straw man. And this is what you get the arguments about. You can't own it. It's Crown Copyright Court. Right, I'm not talking about that, and that's why the conversation gets confusing. You become a secured party creditor, all right? You're not a free man on the land. You are sovereign. You're born sovereign. Nobody can take that away from you, right? But you own everything that they have. This is the debtor, capitalized corporation name, and you own it, everything like that they own. So if somebody wants money from this, right, you have a lien through your security agreement on there. So all the money is owed to you as the secured party creditor first, before the straw man or the corporation, the legal fiction, gives anybody else any money, because you own first lien, L-I-E-N, first lien. You have to be paid before anyone else. That is a secured party creditor. So you can't pay fines. You shouldn't be paying any tax. You should be declaring it now, which is why I'm doing copies of everything again. All right, look, this is my UCC confirmation form. Now, I will say one thing, right, because on mine, on here, and I did mine, look, and I've got me full capitals with a big D on. This is the confirmation paper. Mine have got like the notaries things on now. We've got a notary in the group now. You should check that out. Okay, if you want to find a notary, there's one in our Facebook group. But anyway, look, see, I've got on here full capitals, my name, full capitals, Janine's name, both with the big D, right, for the debtor. That's the capitalized legal fiction, and underneath secured party creditors with the S. Now I got mine like that. Now I know I made a mistake on the addendum, so I had to do it all again, and I paid over $100. I don't even know why. I think that's why I got a big brown envelope, you know, because I had tons of papers in there. I must have ordered it 3 or 4 times or something. You know, I paid a lot of money, and then no one else was paying that. I'm thinking I've done something wrong, but I did get that all back. Now some people are coming getting it back now, and all they've got is their name, and anyone else's name isn't on the bit of paper. But some people were going in because I told them, look, go and search on the filing, right? Use their name, and then it was coming up and it had it on a separate bit of paper. So you have, like, you know, your where are we here? Let's have a look. This is the one signed by Teresa Bernstein, whoever she is. She must be head of the office down in Washington. All right. And they get a separate letter with their name on. So you have to, you have to print that one out. You just download it from their site and then print it, and then you get it notarized. If you have to pay for the two, you have to pay for the two. At least it's getting done, you know. But what I'm doing is I'm actually going to get all of these. I've got all of these out again because I'm going to copy them all. There's my whole harmless indemnity agreement. Okay, I have my truth affidavit, my security agreement on there, both for me and Janine there. We've got like rescinding all signatures because I'm actually going to send them mine. Now listen, I'm sending mine now also to a guy called Andrew Bailey, who's governor of the Bank of England. All right, so I'm going to put them on notice. I'm also sending it to the Right Honourable Steve Barclay, although I don't think any of them are honourable, but that's how he's... And he's the Financial Secretary to the Treasury. This is the UK, obviously, but you can find out yours for wherever you are in your country. Yeah, I'll have to Google it, get the address from Googling it, and then you do registered mail, right? And these will just, because I've got them, look, see, I've got they're stamped and sealed and everything, but I'm not sending that off because it's like 50 quid a time, right? So, well, it is for the first one. But, like, you know, I'm going to copy, I'm going to scan them. I've got the scanner. I'm going to copy them. I'm going to send it off to all these people. All right, with a covering letter, putting them on notice. Okay, if you want a copy of that letter, give me a shout. I can't get onto my email, right? I can't get on there. And I know for a fact when I do get on there, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of emails. So it's an impossibility, you know, to answer. But I do try and get on and see comments on the YouTube channel, and also the you know, I'm in the group and I do try and like answer most stuff in the group. But you know, I'm trying my best, and but it is good because I'm seeing other people answering because they've been through little bits. If you got paperwork questions and stuff like that, but also the other one I'm sending it off to is for the UK, called Rishi Sunak. He's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. The reason why I'm doing them is I'm putting them on notice as well, right? Because rescinding all signatures and telling them, look, you make sure you understand, right, that I'm not putting up with any of this. If we can actually stop them dissolving through a UCC1 form, right, and declaring creditors on that indebted company, which is what they are, then I'm sure I can put them on notice to make sure that they're going to stop giving me hassle. Okay, so the first list didn't have them on, had the Prime Minister on, Doris, but the rest of them it didn't. So I mean, I'm going to do them as well. So you'll have an equivalent of the Chancellor of the Exchequer or something, Treasury Department or something, all right? And also who's head of the IRS, all right? Find them out. okay, or whatever it would be, you know, if you're in a different European country. But that's how I'm doing it for the Bank of England. They call it the Bank of England. It's got nothing to do with England or any government. It's completely private, limited company. It's so maddening. That's why I'm doing all like this extra stuff, which wasn't on before. I'm doing it because I'm in a bad mood with them, you know. But like I say, if we can actually stop them from dissolving, do you not think that that's a pretty big thing to accomplish from doing a UCC1 form? All right, so everyone that's like in authority or what they think is authority are going to lie to you. That's what they're trained to do, that's what they're told to do, and that's what they're pushed and forced to do. They're not going to tell you the truth, okay? They're not going to go and like lose their job or like lose their pay, right? They are there to steal off you, to take your money, to make you lower down than them. That's all they're there for, all right? So just remember that. So we got to start fighting back. Expect people to tell you lies, all right? The thing is, there's nothing they can do to you like bad if you become a secured party creditor. It does opt you out of all of these acts and statutes, which means that they do not apply to you. This act of like not having to walk down the street, having to wear this and blah blah blah, doesn't apply to you if you are a secured party creditor. You shouldn't be paying tax. You shouldn't get yourself an allodial title on your property as well if you own, because you actually don't own it. You know that? What did you do with it? It's registered. Where is it registered? At the land registration. Okay, registered, Regis, Crown. Now I've just recently done some forms for this property, changing the names. Due to like, you know, someone being deceased, and when I had to fill all the forms in and send it all off, I had to put it down as a tenant. So this is on property that we own. So, and there's only 2 boxes. It was 2 different types of tenant. Are you this type of tenant or that type of tenant? So if you're actually saying you own that property, how comes you're a tenant? Because you don't own the land, all right? You own the bricks and mortar, you do. Right? You try taking them down and moving them somewhere else if they want the land back. That's a fact. You don't own anything, right? The land-wise. It's not yours. You need to claim a allodial title. And once you claim a allodial title and then it's yours outright there, then you don't be paying any property taxes either. But you've got to get that sorted. So these are things that we'll have to fight for and have to like try and get sorted out. Okay? But bear that in mind, and hopefully that helps people a little bit. So see you next time.